Welcome back. Australia-based telecom company Telstra has opened a new office in Singapore. Telstra says its new executive briefing centre, located at PwC Building in the heart of the Central Business District, is an important step for its growth in Asia. Opening its new office on Friday, Telstra's key executives said its Singapore hub will be a cornerstone for the company's expansion plans into the region. Over the past year, Telstra has invested over $20 million on its network, a data centre and cloud business in Singapore. Currently, Telstra draws about 7% of the group's revenue from its international business, which includes investments in Asia. The telco hires about 4,000 employees across Asia, with 70 employees in Singapore. For more on Telstra's regional expansion plans, Channel News Asia's Wong Siew-ing spoke further to Telstra's CEO David Thodey in an exclusive interview. She started off by asking him about his assessment of growth opportunities in emerging markets in the region.
Well, firstly, let me say that we have enormously optimistic views around the total Asia growth. I mean, whether you're talking China, coming down through Vietnam, Thailand, or even across to Myanmar, and Indonesia, of course, as well. But the whole Asian region, as you know, the demand, consumer demand grows, we think there's just tremendous opportunity. But for us, we really look to see where we can really build competitive advantage or differentiation. While we were very early on in Vietnam and Cambodia and Thailand and Indonesia, Myanmar was never a country that we've ever had significant presence in. So when we looked at the Myanmar opportunity, we felt we really couldn't make a real difference there. So we have not bid on Myanmar. Because as you know, I mean, Asia is many different countries, and you've really got to know the country that you're going into. So in this situation, we said no, but there's many other opportunities we're working on throughout the region.
Telstra has secured some new licenses in India, Japan and Singapore in recent years. Can you tell us a little bit about your strategy for Asia, and do you expect Asia to contribute a larger portion of revenue for Telstra?
We have a long-term strategy to build, significant points of presence right throughout Asia. For any large telecommunications operator who's, domestically based, you have to look to geographical expansion. However, the reality is you've got to know what you're good at doing. So for us, growing with our Australian-based customers into the region is very important, or with customers coming from Europe or United States, we can then grow with them, really meet their needs. And a great example was the recent Jetstar contract that we just signed, but there's many ones. We support Volvo throughout the region. So that's where we're focused. But more and more businesses need more sophisticated communications capability. So, unified comms about how they communicate, collaborate, and that's where we're really focused as we go forward. So we see really good growth prospects going forward, and a very important part of our strategy.
Now, Telstra has also recently signed a $1 billion contract with the Australian Department of Defence. How will these contracts change your business and also grow your headcount?
We will definitely be growing our headcount as we sign new business. So, look, we see good growth prospects going forward, 5% plus. But it will really depend on what business we sign. The defence contract is very domestically oriented, but it's about managing all the facilities of the Australian Defence Force, and that's a contract in excess of $1 billion over 8 to 10 years. So it's a very large contract. But of course, our defence forces do serve right across the world. So when they move across the world, we provide the services for them in terms of communications. Jetstar, on the other hand, is expanding their presence throughout Asia, and they've got a number of joint ventures here in Asia, and we are really growing with them, though about 80% of the infrastructure required for that contract we already have, and we'll be extending into some new areas.
Telcos around the world have been rationalizing their growth. Now, what's the next big trend in the telco sector, and how can that help telcos to maximize their revenue?
I've never seen a period of greater demand for our services. The amount of information we're carrying on our networks is doubling nearly every year. It's how you create better value for your customer that they will be willing to pay for. But if I look at the future growth areas, some of the areas that I talked about before are still playing. I still see enormous growth in mobility. And this is about the connected internet, the mobile internet, and the growth of iPads or new devices or the connected car. So enormous opportunity there as people are mobile and they want to connect. I think cloud computing in all its forms continues to be a wonderful opportunity. And network operators have a unique value proposition in that market because connectivity is so important. Then I look at the social media. So I'm far from pessimistic. In fact, I'm very optimistic.
Trade and Industry